Okay guys, this is one of my more important videos. I hope you watch it all the way through. Do not skip ahead. You might miss very important information. I'm going to show you two charts that further confirm for me that we're going to be testing 22,000 on June 4th, 2022. I know that's a very specific price and date, but when I show you this and explain it, it will make complete sense. Remember, you can access all these live charts on my website, pinned in the first comment description. Use my BitGet affiliate link. It's also pinned in the first comment description as well. I do have some information about BitGet. A lot of people have been asking to get these charts into BitGet, so I'm going to cover that. I'll be making a video tutorial soon showing this. It'll probably be private or unlisted, so you have to have access to Twitter and Discord to get that. But I am going to show you guys how you can get access to my Twitter just by using my BitGet affiliate link. So I'm going to cover that as well. So let's go back, guys. So this video I put out on May 4th. Said next Bitcoin trade, life-changing money-making opportunity. And guys, it was just that. I said to short 40K. I said we're probably headed down to 34,332. That played out perfectly. I put a link up to this now. I put a video up on May 12th. I said, did Bitcoin just find a temporary bottom? I said, guys, and if you had access to the chart, you knew exactly where to long. But even at this price, we were at 28,079. So we're probably going to be pushing up to at least 31,500, 32,000. That played out beautifully. We pushed up. So I gave you a point to enter for a long. Put a link up to this video now. And then my most recent video, I said Bitcoin price pumping, exact point too short. And I said likely a point too short, 31,400. That is pretty much where we topped out and we came down. So I'm going to show you these charts, how they played out. If you sign up to my charts, you get access to our Twitter and Discord. So by the way, if you want to get access to just my Twitter, if you do use my BitGet affiliate links, pin the first comment description. If you email me through the website with your BitGet user ID number, I will verify that you use my affiliate link, and I will give you access to my Twitter. So that's how you can get access. If you do get access to Twitter and Discord, guys, I keep you updated daily, if not hourly. This was a tweet I made on May 17th that said next scalp short trade, double resistance on the H1 chart, right here at 30,759. And guys, we hit that literally to the damn dollar and got rejected. So this is a point you should have entered as short. And you can see how this played out. We're going to cover this Dow Jones chart. I've been keeping everybody updated about this as well. Remember the Dow Jones chart, I said this was support. This is how I knew, because we had support for Bitcoin and for the Dow Jones, I knew we had some upside. Again, if you can chart the indices and know what's going to happen in advance, you know what's going to happen with Bitcoin. But you notice we got rejected, 30,767 on the H1 chart. Your next support was 29,576. And see how this played out. We got rejected. We came all the way down. And we found support and we pushed back up. Next resistance was this line right here, 30,496. This is the actual chart. And you can see what pattern we're currently in right now. You can see right here, this is our support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support. So do we break to the upside? I'm going to show you where to short if we do. Or potentially, we break to the downside. Once we break this point, we have a lot more downside, and this is where the M1 chart comes into play. So I will give you key support and resistance levels. Pay attention to. Remember, if we break this blue line, we have a lot more downside. Guys, so we've been, again, this is, if you have access to our Discord. If you click on live trades, people share their trades. This person is up 1,932%, 75 times leverage. This is where I said to short at 40K. This person is still riding that short. that's a lot of money there. These are people that play the more current, the H1 chart where I just showed you. 138% profit, 40%, 80%, 23%, 45%, 77%, 117, 57, 97. Right here, 1,255%. They shorted from 40K, riding it all the way down. It says still riding the wave. Another nice scalp. Thank you, Optical Art, for such accurate resistance support levels. Well, thank you, and you're welcome. 211%, 75 times leverage. Remember, guys, you don't have to use a lot of money. You can use $100 at 50 times leverage, and if it drops 10%, you're going to make a lot of money. If you use $1,000 at 40 times leverage, you're going to make even more money. But the risk to reward, I mean, if you set a stop loss, you might lose a very small amount, but how much you can make is well worth it. So again, I'm just showing you guys, if you can make a lot of money on these trades, what I do is try to give you the perfect entry point to long and to short. So you can get into your trade. Once you're in profit, you set your stop loss lower or higher. If you're in a short, you set your stop loss a little lower. So if it pushes up, you break even or you're still in a small profit. So again, if you trade safe, you practice risk management, you're going to make more money than you can lose. So again, this is the BitGet platform. This is what I use to do leverage trading. And again, guys, so a lot of people have been requesting that I show how to get my charts into the BitGet platform, which they have TradingView and BitGet. So you can get these charts in. There's a certain technique I use. So I'll be making a video soon, a tutorial showing how to get specific trend lines from any chart into BitGet to trade. That will probably be unlisted, so you have to have access to Twitter or Discord to get access to that video, because I'll be giving away basically showing how to get my charts into BitGet. So expect that video very soon. I'm going to cover that in detail. Remember, guys, if you want to watch this video, this is me learning how to use BitGet. This is simulated trades. I did this first because I want to be comfortable with trading before I actually use real money. It's SUSDT. Watch this video. Again, it's me learning it. You can practice, do a long, set your leverage, whatever you want, how much money you want to pretend you're trading with. You see how much you would have made, you would have lost, get comfortable with the platform. And when you are comfortable with it, then you can go back and you can actually start. This is where you trade with real money. And a lot of times what I'll do if I'm in a hurry, I'll just put a horizontal line where resistance is on a certain chart, so I know where to pay attention to. When I'm in a hurry, I do this. If I have time, I'll bring the actual chart in to trade. But I'm going to do a tutorial video showing you how to do that. A lot of people have been requesting that on Discord and Twitter. So again, guys, and again, if you do want to get access to my Twitter, again, use my BitGet affiliate link. Email me through the website with your BitGet user ID number, and then I will give you access to Twitter. Okay, guys, so let's move on. This is the M1 chart. I just want to show you why there is so much confluence. And again, it'll make complete sense why I believe we're headed to 22,000 on June 4th. And again, I give you a unique perspective. I actually can show you the future. Where to short way in advance, where to long way in advance, and you know what? I'm telling you that we're probably going to bottom. Our first bottom will be on this target, 22,000 on June 4th. I know it sounds crazy, guys, but I told you to short 48,127, 42,723, and around 40,000 before price ever got there. This was the published version. You see this chart right here. It's the exact same chart. See this? This is where I call the top back here at 67,000. And we're going to cover this as well. But again, I told you to short these points. This chart I published on March 26th. We never even made contact with this line. But I knew when we hit it, right? This is short. I knew when we hit this line, this is where you short every time you make contact with it. And I said, once we break this ring, we capitulate. Look how this played out. Hit it, rejected, hit it, rejected. Told you to short here, rejected. Said once you break this point, we capitulate. We came up, tested it one more time, came down. Look where we found support right on this line. And these lines in this fib channel are very important. I've already mapped out your support resistance levels so you know where to long and short. This red line is even more important if we push up. We're going to cover that as well. So again, the M1 chart and the Dow Jones chart in confluence using both of these charts shows me that we have a lot of downside potentially incoming. And the reason I have these yellow, I'm going to show you the published version of this chart. It's kind of hard to see the fib circle, but when I show you this point, it'll make more sense. But bottom line is, you can see how well price is respecting this fib circle. This is where we topped out. This is where I predicted the crash before COVID. Didn't expect it to crash as much as we did, but did expect some downside. But you can see how we're respecting this. Resistance, support, resistance, support. And you can see how I'm respecting this. This is where I told you guys to short. This was pretty much the top up here for the Dow Jones. Remember, Bitcoin follows indices. Indices up, indices down, Bitcoin down. This is where I told you guys to long. I mean, that video I said, did Bitcoin temporarily find a bottom? Well, we were at support with the Bitcoin chart on the M1 chart, and I said we were at strong support with the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones pushed up, Bitcoin pushed up. And now I'm telling you, this yellow arrow right here, this is potentially the top for the Dow to come down, and your next target is here. That's further confluence why I believe we're going to hit that target around 22,000 on June 4th. I'm going to cover that. This is a published chart. It's kind of hard to see. This fib circle right here is kind of a ghosted blue color. But let me hit play. Again, this is published on January 7th, 2020. And this is where I predicted the drop that turned it into a crash. I said my first target was 27,400, 27,500. Next lowest target was down here around 26,194. Well, look what happened. I mean, we hit my targets. We dropped way below. But if you notice right here, see this blue ring we topped out? That is this ring right here. this ring right here. That's why I have it yellow so you can see it. Let's see. So if we go forward, let me play a little bit. So if you notice right here, and this is what I was talking about, it's kind of hard to see it. You see this blue ring right here, resistance, support, resistance, support. You can see right here. That's this point I'm highlighting with these yellow arrows. Resistance, support, resistance, support. So you can see how well price has been respecting this fib circle. Guys, it's Fibonacci. Don't know why it works, but it does. I found a new method to use fib circles. Traditionally, you go from swing high to swing low. I found an entirely new way to use fib circles to predict what price is going to do years in advance. And we are right at a resistance level to potentially send us down to this point. Let me go a little further with this, guys. So let me play this out. You can see this is a ring in that same fib circle. We got resistance. I'm gonna hit play. All right, any day now. So you can see up here, these are these rings. We top out at one of these rings. And play a little further. And you can see right here. See, this is where I told you to short the Dow up here at 35,232. We came down to support, pushed up, we broke it, now it's resistance. This ring right here is where I'm highlighting this point right here. So I think this is a point the Dow is going to get topped out. We can have a little bit more upside, but I think potentially we're going to get rejected, and your target is down here. So again, using the Dow Jones chart, knowing that potentially we're going to be topped out, because once you break support, right, from one ring, right, the next point you drop down to is the ring below. That's one hell of a drop. This in confluence with the M1 chart shows me that we're going to hit that target. Let's go on, guys. So this is that chart. This is actual, so you can see the candles. So we're not far from this point. So even if we get a little upside, we're going to top out around 32,772 to potentially 32,180. If that happens, we have a little upside for Bitcoin. But I do believe at this point we're going to top out. The indices are going to come down. Remember, this is where I said too long previously. And again, if we drop, guys, your target is all the way down here. We're talking coming down to around 27,700 for the Dow. This would be catastrophic for Bitcoin. So again, using the Dow Jones chart and using the M1 chart tells me that we have a lot more downside. This is another chart I created. I knew something was going to happen at this ring. You can see every time we hit a green ring, we get rejected. We hit this one, rejected. We hit this white ring, rejected. We hit this one, we dropped, we pushed back up. This one, we had a COVID crash at this ring, came down. This was our support. We pushed up. We hit this one, it came down. I expected when we hit this ring, we'd move down it. We'd hit it underneath and move down it. But if you'll notice what happened, again, this was published August 22nd, 2021. What happened is when we pushed above it, we rode down it. So your next major support, if things get really bad, it's all the way down here at 21,255. So again, I'm telling you, the first bottom target is 22,000 on June 4th. If it comes down this low, guys, we're going much lower. So I just want to prepare you for that. This is the actual live chart. I've showed you this before. This is your next major support. If things get really bad, I don't see why they wouldn't. You've got quantitative tightening. They're taking away the free money, right? No more money printing. They're raising interest rates. You got supply chain shortages. You got a pandemic. You saw what happened in China. There's an uptick of cases here in the U.S. now, worldwide also. You've got the Russia-Ukraine war. Potentially, we're going to have stagflation soon, which can lead to a depression. So this right here, this is your first support level to watch. If things get really bad, guys, this is the next major support. So I'm saying things could get really bad. But, you know, we'll get to that point if it comes to it. But I'm just talking about, for now, just this target below. This is a hell of a drop. I'm definitely expecting us to hit this point. But again, if things get really bad, you know, this is way below that point. This means we could hit targets even lower. If we get down to here, we're potentially talking about $10,000 for Bitcoin. But again, the first target to watch is around 22,000. Right now, you can see the Dow is coming down. We might not even test that orange ring. I told you, just like I said before on this M1 chart, I said once we break below this ring, right? This ring we've been respecting for years. Once we get below this ring, we would capitulate, right? And guys, I told you that how this works is if it gets really bad, you go from ring to ring. So the next point, right? If we drop, this is the lowest I think we'll go because this is the next ring below, just like the Dow Jones, just like I'm showing you with this chart. If I can find it here. So that's what I'm saying. If we cannot get above this ring, your next target is this ring below, just like for the Bitcoin chart. Sorry guys, I didn't plan this out too well. So we have some downside with the Dow Jones. This means Bitcoin's going to drop as well. So let me show you all the confluence why I believe that we're going to hit these targets, right? So right here is around, this is around June 4th, and this is around 22,000. Well, there's a lot of confluence here. If you watch previous videos, I showed you every time Bitcoin has a peak or we top out, previous resistance, right, will flip as support. This is this line. I said it's the same fib channel. Every time you hit one of these lines in this fib channel, we get rejected, right? Where you have these arrows. So this was our previous resistance. We hit this point, we got rejected. Every time we hit it, this is where you should put in a short. Notice we came down, we found perfect support right here on this fib channel line. So previous, right? This was our resistance back here. So this will flip as support. And look at the confluence we have here. You can see how well price respected this fib channel line right here. We came down, found a perfect bounce. You had access to this chart, guys. You knew exactly where to put in your long. And I'm telling you, if we push up, if we do get some upside with the markets, the highest we can go is 32,285. That would be the ideal point to put in a short. I do not see us getting above this point. I've showed you this trend line before. This goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. This is a top for a drop. That does not mean we have to push up to that point. Your next major support below is right down here, potentially 25,000, let's just say 26,000. If that breaks, your target is 22,000. And look at the confluence. You saw how well price respected this line here. Well, look at all the confluence here. The next fib channel line below, right? That's 1. You have the 200 weekly moving average right here. That's 2. You have previous resistance flipped as support. That's 3 right here. And you want further confluence? Well, let's just do a trend line. And look how well this lines up. From where we put in our short at 40K, we just draw a trend line, bring this down as resistance. That's 4 points of confluence. Support, 200 weekly, previous resistance flipped as support, and this trend line that's currently our resistance. That means once we break 25,963, look at all that damn confluence for that date and for that price. 22,000 right here by June, potentially June 4th. And if things get really bad, again guys, the last time that we had a major drop, we came down to the 300 weekly moving average. So it's possible, something like this could happen, right? Push up, break this, come down. This would be the point we would hold support. Most people are going to buy at the 200 weekly. We could push back up, get rejected up here around potentially 26,718. Come back down. If this breaks, again, it could be something like this. But eventually, this would be the lowest point we would go, and that depends on the indices as well. But again, first target 22,000, June 4th, right? And if we do end up breaking, which is very possible, if we break the 200 weekly moving average, your next target, a lot of confluence, guys. You go from ring to ring. You have the 300 weekly moving average, previous support flipped as resistance, right? Right here, that is 3 points of confluence for a potential target of 16,600 on late July. So let me give you a key support and resistance levels to pay attention to. We know right off the bat, if we break 29,600, we have a lot more downside. I think that's going to trigger the drop. The Dow's already coming down. You can see Bitcoin's coming down as well. Your next support level on this chart, guys, I'll give you a key support and resistance levels if you want to long and short. The next point, chance of long, will be around 28,810. Remember, if 29,600 breaks, we have a lot more downside. If we do push back up, test top of this wedge, this is 30,335. And you can see since this is currently support and resistance, the apex is about 2 days away. Typically, you break out of these patterns way before. So, within the next day, we could break out of this. But your current resistance, 30,335. Current support, 29,603. If we do push up, if we break to the upside, guys, again, what I would pay attention to is on the M1 chart, that red line. So the highest I think will go is 31,500 to 32,280. And I'll go back to that chart and show you. But these are your current support and resistance levels on the H1 chart. This is the C1 chart. You can see your current support is a lot of matching targets. So 29,583, if that breaks, your next support level below is down here, potentially 28,528 to 28,113. Your next major resistance levels above 31,283 up to 32,428. A lot of confluence showing 32,000 will be the top. Ideal point to put in a short. This is the C1 BG chart. This is charted for BitGet. So currently, same thing. Your resistance, 29,682. I'm sorry, support is 29,700 to 29,500. Next support level is 28,120. Your resistance is 31,276 up to potentially 32,500. And again, guys, I'm just trying to show you this chart right here. This is the chart you need to have up as the M1 chart. I don't think we're going to get above this point. I think we're going to continue to move down. I think because we're at resistance with the Dow Jones chart on that ring, I think we're going to start moving down this point. Your first point to watch if you want a chance of long, this is a macro target. So if we come down to 25,733, this would be a point to enter a long. But guys, if we break 25,733, I do believe that this is the target right here, 22,000 on June 4th. And if by some miracle, and I'm wrong, and the indices push up, all right, just pay attention. The next point to potentially short is 32,285. This red line goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. That is a lot of resistance. And if we do push up, guys, every time, just like previously, every time you hit this white line, you short. So depending when you make contact, it's right here, 36,228. This is where you would short. And it could come up to this point. That would be bullish, but I do believe this would be the top. But again, guys, I think with what's going on, I think we're already headed down to first target 25,733. And again, there's just way too much confluence for us not to hit this point around 22,000 on June 4th. But guys, that pretty much covers everything. Remember, you can access all these live charts on the website, pinned in the first comment description. See a big affiliate link. It's also pinned in the first comment description as well. And if you want to get access to my Twitter, use that big affiliate link. Email me through the website. I'll verify you have an account, and then I'll give you access to my Twitter. But guys, that's it. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.